Hey everyone, this is Kevin with Kevin's Microfleet. Today I've got a Micro Galaxy Squadron review. We're taking a look at the Series 7 Starfighter class Phantom 2 shuttle. We're going to take a look at the vehicle, at the figures, at the packaging. We'll do some measurements and we'll do a comparison. Let's go ahead and dive into the review. Let's go ahead and start here with the packaging. So first is on the side, we have our Series 7. This logo here has been changing colors throughout the series up until Series 6, and it was white. And then now it has just remained white here as they've gone to Series 7. You've got here, you've got the picture of Kanan going into the cockpit. You've got Phantom 2, number 144. Then up here on the top right, you actually get the media source that this comes from, so Star Wars Rebels. And then as we spin this thing around to the back, you get a chance to see the different features of this vehicle, as well as the other vehicles that come in the line. The one thing that is important to know here is on the back here, you have your two chase vehicles. You have your Rare and your Chase. So the Rare is 1 in 15,000. The Chase is 1 in 5,000. These are actually flipped on the package relative to what they normally are. Typically, you're going to have your 1 in 5,000 over here to the right and the 1 in 15,000 to the left. So this might have been something that changed throughout production, but either way is what it is. So now if we take a look here at the bottom, here is the UPC if you want that. All of the UPCs are the same for all of the Starfighter class vehicles. So if you get one, you got them all. And let's go ahead and break this thing out of the box so we can take a look at all the different features. Now that I have the Phantom 2 out of its packaging, I'll show you what the card backing looks like. You can see this is just kind of like a generic, I don't know, graphic of some sort here. And the underside, which is usually used as a display, is just blue there. It could still be used as a display if you wanted to put the vehicle there. This used to have some really cool artwork that was done that would feature the other vehicles from the series, as well as potentially hint at some other things coming in the future. As you can see, there's nothing here. It's just kind of this generic blue. Unfortunate that they got rid of the art, but it's the packaging, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle. So let's go ahead and start here with our figures. We've got Kanan Jarrus here and Chopper. So that does come in this cool little blister pack. They've started putting these little tabs on here, which is a bit cumbersome to open this, but still okay. I do love the packaging here. You get the little blueprint of the figures there on the back as well, which is pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and start with Chopper. So Chopper is just the standard version of Chopper that we've had with all of our other ones. So he has come with the other Phantom as well as the Ghost in the secret mission. And he looks great. So really good job with the sculpt here for it, as well as the paint application. So you can see there's even some paint there on the back. Maybe just a tiny bit off there on the back of it, but you're talking about a tiny little figure here. So very good job. He's got his little antenna there on the top. And then we have Kanan. So Kanan, I was very surprised. I was really hoping that we were going to get some of the Series 4 figures to be able to see what these guys looked like. And I am pumped that we've already got Kanan with his Series 4. You can see he's got there this is actually the part of his armor that was on his shoulder that he uses as a mask. And he's got the little eyes painted on there, which is really cool. As we turn him around, he's got the ponytail on the back as well. I mean, they just did such a fantastic job here with this figure. And sorry, not just Series 4, this was actually Series 3, and then 4, he ended up taking the mask off. So sorry for that mistake, but amazing figure. If we look at him compared to, here is the version that we get with the Ghost, and you can see, again, an amazing figure sculpt. They did such a great job here. Again, there is the thing on his shoulder. Really well done. Super pumped that we have him already with that, the blinded version, I guess we'll call it, of Kanan, and that he's coming with the Phantom 2. So from a size perspective, he is 1 inch tall, just like the other figures. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Phantom 2. This thing has a ton of features to it. So we'll start first just with the exterior. The paint application looks fantastic. I love the logo here on the top of that fin. And then you've got all of the colors there around the side, which match very well with the actual Ghost itself. The door there on the back, and then you have the bottom here, and this is what this looks like from a detail perspective. Just very, very cool. When I saw this and they showed it off during the Series 7 reveal, I was super pumped, and it looked to be a better scale than the Phantom 1, which we'll take a look at here as a comparison in a little bit. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the features. So starting on the front here, you have this opening cockpit. For some reason, again, on Series 7, they did these gigantic finger tabs. I really hope they don't do that in future series. It does look pretty bad. So with this, it blends in just a little bit. So if you're looking at it from the front, you kind of don't see it, but as you turn this thing around, it's like it doesn't need to be that big. That would be my only knock to Series 7 is that it does seem like, and they started to do it in some of Series 6, where they have these gigantic tabs on here to be able to open this up. But either way, there we go. So you open up the top, and then the next thing is this whole piece pulls off. So you can pull it off really from the, how do I want to do this? There you go. So it's probably best to push up there from the back, and you can see the little tabs. So we'll go ahead and pop those out. You can see there is the underside of that top part, and then how those tabs works. You can see it's got like the little tooth on there on both sides. So not super easy to remove, but you can pop it off there. And once you do it a couple times, it'll be fine. The interior of this thing looks amazing. I mean, look at the interior of the cockpit there. I do love the color of this as well, this kind of like really dark metallic silver. Something happened there with the back of the chair. I'm not 100% sure what that is back inside there, but it doesn't make a difference to me because it's on the interior of it. And you've got a little C-clamp there for a figure. You've got the peg hole there for Chopper to be able to put him in it. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this is you actually have a door back here that opens. So again, you got these gigantic finger tabs on here. It is actually held in also by this one little piece right there that's clipped on the side, but that opens up so you actually have a ramp, which is very, very cool. Love that feature to this. And then you have your landing gear. So you have the front landing gear here. It has, it'll open like that, and then it will slide down. You can kind of see how that mechanism works in there. It's super loose. So as you have it open like that, you can see how it just kind of flops around. And then you have this one. And then you have your rear landing gear as well. Which I'll go ahead and pop these guys out of here. These guys are not quite as loose. They don't have the same exact feature to it in terms of how it opens. I'm going to go ahead and put the roof back on this bad boy first. And so now with your landing gear out, there is what it looks like. Oops, a second. That's what it looks like on the table. And there you've got your door there to be able to get inside, which again is a fantastic feature. Now, the other thing that's important about this is there's another feature that is just very briefly described on the back of the packaging, which is this part here that helps the Phantom 2 connect and dock on the actual Ghost. So to open this, you pull these little parts out, and they are spring-loaded. So I was trying to push this in, couldn't really figure out how to do it. I figured there had to be some type of a release. This little teeny piece right here is what you push to go ahead and dock that. So That way you open it up. You can dock this then onto the top of the Ghost. Once this thing comes off, you push that little button, it snaps back in, and it's off and running. And that is such a clever feature, because certainly this thing doesn't fit on the top of the Ghost the same way that the Phantom 1 does, because of the bottom of the actual vehicle here. The other cool thing about this too is this Phantom 2 is actually supposed to be one of the shuttles that's used by the Trade Federation, and this was then just repurposed as the Phantom 2. But I'm really hopeful, gosh, I hope that we get a Trade Federation version of this with the same exact type of design. So I want to do some measurements first, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at this thing compared to the other Phantom, and then we'll go ahead and dock it on the Ghost. So from front to back, this is about 4 inches, maybe just a little bit longer than that. Side to side is about 2.5 inches. And then the height here, when you have those little landing gear out, it doesn't sit a whole lot higher than that. You can see the pegs here on the bottom of this. The pegs are to operate the sound features that you'll actually have on the Ghost when it attaches in. And then height is, I don't know, I'd call that basically 3 inches, maybe 2 3/4 inches. Now, this is a size of vehicle that could potentially have come in a light armor class, but because of all the features on this, I'm really excited that this is a Starfighter class vehicle, so that way we can get all of the different features, the 2 figures, and then be able to attach it to the Ghost. Now, here it is compared to the Phantom 1, and I believe that the Phantom 2 should be larger than the Phantom 1. You can see that they're not quite that way, that the Phantom 1 is definitely bulkier. That was one of the things that a lot of other collectors had mentioned, is that the Phantom 1 just seems a bit oversized relative to the Ghost, or what it should be anyways. And so you can see this thing as we turn it around. Now, the Phantom 1 does also have some fantastic features. It does have the opening cockpit as well. You've got the wings that open on this guy to come out like that. And then you do have the top of this that does pop off as well, to be able to show pretty much the same type of interior features that you're going to get with the Phantom 2. But you know, for what it is, it's fantastic. I love it. And it does attach really well to the Ghost. And so you can see there's the little tabs on the bottom, like you'll see down here on the bottom of the Phantom 2 when you end up pulling these gray pieces out for it to be able to dock. So now we have the Ghost here, and we have it docked with the Phantom 1. So I'm going to show just a couple of the things that happen here. So first is we'll go ahead and turn on the sounds. And if we push this button, this will do your laser cannon here for the Phantom 1. And then as we pop this guy off, there it is taking off. Now down here in the bottom, there are some little buttons, which again correlate with these guys. So it pushes that button down. And so when you dock the Phantom 1, again, that is your sound you get. And there's its laser cannon. So now, take that guy off. Now we have our Phantom 2. So now we're going to dock this. So first thing is we want to pull out these tabs so that we'll dock onto the vehicle correctly. So I now have the Phantom 2 docked on here. And the one thing that is important, I'll show in here in a minute, on this specific one, the button is actually on the back right of the vehicle. So for my specific Ghost, the button may be set down a little bit too low. So I've got to hold it down. That's its docking sound. And then that's the laser that you end up firing. So that's what it should sound like for the Phantom 2. And then as it undocks, you would get that other sound, and then it comes off of there and flies away. So again, this is the piece that's actually pushing that button down, and you'll see here there is the actual button down in there. So for whatever reason, when this thing actually clips in, it does secure in fine with those two pieces, but it doesn't seem to push that button all the way down. So that may just be, again, a function of my specific Ghost, that for some reason it doesn't get all the way down there. But it is really cool to be able to have this thing docked on here and to see what that looks like. And there it is. And it shut off. So great to see that this thing, I was very concerned again with the size of the Phantom 1. I was concerned that this thing was going to look like a sore thumb sticking off the top of it. It does a little bit anyways, just because of that huge fin on the top, but it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as I was expecting it to look, you know, relative to what we get with this Series 1 version. Now, the one thing that I will end up doing is I'll probably do a black wash on one of these. I might get a second one because the black wash does mesh much better with the actual vehicle itself. So here is the one that I actually black washed, the Phantom 1. And you can see again, I mean, it's just looks like it would match the vehicle better. So if there was any other critique beyond the gigantic thumb tab on the top, it would be just to have a little bit more of a wash on this thing. Otherwise, it looks fantastic, and I hope that everybody is able to pick one up. So here are the two versions of the Phantom docked. So you got our Phantom 2 on the left, our Phantom 1 on the right. And then again, you'll see here as we turn this thing to the side, what they look like. So you can see there the Phantom 2 looks great. It doesn't look like it's sticking out too high relative to the Phantom 1, although both of them are sitting up higher than what they typically would do on the show. And then again, I'll turn this guy all the way around, so now you get a chance to see what it looks like from the back. And there they are. Again, looks really cool. Super excited to be able to have this. I hope we get more versions of the Ghost because it is such a fun vehicle, and there's so many different characters that we can get with it. So here I've got, this is the Ghost with the Phantom 2 from the miniatures game Armada. And you can see it's got that Phantom 2 docked on it. And then now you get a chance to see, which looks like it's scaled a little bit better. And now you get a chance to see what those two look like relative to one another. It really doesn't look that bad. I mean, I think that the Ghost still with that Phantom 2 docked on the top of it. Obviously, this one looks like it's too big, which it's just one of those hard things. If you were to actually make the vehicle as versatile as it is, you'd have to make the Ghost, you know, 50% bigger in order for it to actually fit and be in scale with it. But I still think that they did a fantastic job with the limitations that they likely have with cost and all of that stuff. But there you go. So that is all I've got for my review. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I look forward to catching everybody on the next review.